I never thought of that. Like, yeah, the mic, because the mic was so important at that particular time, because if you blew up the spot one time there, it was like you had arrived. Like, we had a scene. We are back once again with a historic, his story. Y'all don't know who this dude is. I'm about to tell you. Y'all, some of y'all know who this dude is. Some of y'all looking right now, y'all like, oh shit. Boom, 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 boom. Detroit, hip hop, legend. One half of the original, classic Detroit hip hop. I'm talking about your late 80s going into your 90s, and then from the 90s growing up, and then bubbling, going on tours. I mean, inspiring so many different producers, artists, remixes. Man, this is my man right here. One half of First Down. This is Reno Wesley. Yes, the hip hop shop's own, the Rhythm Kitchen's own, the 1315s, the 1515s. This brother go back with the hip hop classic. I'm talking about hip hop, not just the rap part. The hip hop, all elements, when the elements was coming together, because I was there, 91, 92. Maurice Malone, this brother, major patron at the hip hop shop. He bought clothes. He ain't just come up there and try and steal Source magazines or something, like, you know what I'm saying? He just wasn't a wallflower, just, you know, trying to get the vibe and the beat. No, this man not only caught the vibe and the beats, he helped usher in a sound, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Swing Low. Shout out to your DIllas, yes. Shout out to the T3s, yes. Shout out to the, man, Amp Fiddlers, man. My man was there. He camped Amp too. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The legacy just keeps continuating and continuating. This my man, Reno Wesley. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Respect to my homeboy Mud, man. You know, respect to Five Elements, man. Always been a fan of Five Ella from day one. And it's just been a privilege to work with the brothers, man. And just to add to what he was saying in terms of Detroit hip-hop, man.
Yes.
Been doing that thing for a very long time, man. And it was always my goal, even when creating First Down, to be the first down from Detroit, to create a platform so everybody else could have a way to showcase their talents too with this hip-hop thing.
So what was the meaning, like, First Down? Because, I mean, like that's a dope name. When I first heard the name and I said First Down, like football, you know what I'm saying? I immediately went to the football reference, and I was like, well, yeah, you want to have first down, like you want to have that type of, that energy and going forward, you know what I mean? So
yeah, how that all came about is I was a big fan of KMD, and a big fan of MC Search and Pete Nice with Third Base.
Okay.
So it was a whole playoff of that whole sport thing with Third Base. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come up with First Down, because I wanted to be the first down from Detroit to create a legacy for all of us. So, you know, even though you had super great rappers like Esham and like J to the D and AWOL and Awesome Dre and Chaos and Maestro, all of those guys doing their thing, you know, I wanted to do my part as well. So, you know, that's where First Down came from.
That's slick, man. I didn't really think about that like that, but that was that era and that was that time when hip-hop was fresh and there was no one really representing. Like, when I say hip-hop, like our legacy, like I was talking to Lo Lewis and we was building, and a lot of us come from the scene. A lot of us come from the New Dance Show era. The J to the D's, your AWOLs, yes, Eshams, man, Detroit's Most Wanted, man, Lee and Skeet, you feel me?
Yeah.
But I didn't see much breakdancing. I didn't see much DJing. You know what I mean? We had, you know, you had Duncan Hines scratching and that kind of stuff, but I didn't go to their parties. I was too young, probably. So maybe motherfuckers was pop locking but I think when our specific generation came in and we started our hub, like I could remember the Rhythm Kitchen where reggae was being played. You got house music being played, the techno. It wasn't just hip hop. it was more Detroit, and I think we were probably more well-rounded as far as artists are concerned. What do you feel about that? Like, what's your take?
I mean, I didn't really get a chance to catch like the house section of it, even though I'm a big fan of house music. I love deep house, reggae. I love music, period. But in terms of the Rhythm Kitchen, I got to experience the hip hop nights where Maurice Malone was DJing as DJ Soul Fingers, and we would go there. You had Live Manifest selling the Maurice Malone jeans. Get your Maurice Malone jeans for your ass right here.
Yeah.
And you walk in Stanley's, you smell this amazing Chinese food, and Maurice Malone is like playing the most authentic hip hop records you've never heard before. Just, you know, we were in awe, like, man, where did he get that from? Do you hear that, man? This is crazy. And they also had a segment where you can showcase your talent, and unfortunately, we'd always get there late. So by us getting there late, we slip my Live Manifest. I go in my pocket, but here's 20, man. Can we get on here, put us on?
Wow. That's how y'all was doing it.
Yeah.
Wow. I never had that idea of the, you know, pay up slick real quick. I never thought of that. Like, yeah, the mic, because the mic was so important at that particular time, because if you blew up the spot one time there, it was like you had arrived. Like, we had a scene that was like, it might have been thousands of us at the time, man, broken off in different clubs, different spots, but it was a nice collective.
The most anticipated hip-hop album of the decade, The Rhythm Kitchen, produced by Reno made this beat. The producer that put DIlla on his first major record. Now he's dropping an album for your behind with 13 dope tracks for you to max out to. The Rhythm Kitchen, available now at www.renomadethisbeat.com.
The Rhythm Kitchen, I can remember the time when, like you were saying, you blow up on that mic, you get up there and you do that demonstration. There was a wave, it was like a shock wave went throughout our community. Like, you had a ride, wasn't no internet then, but we was the net, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was an important thing. The open mics had just started, and man, that was a good time. So
And I remember finding out about the Rhythm Kitchen through Bakari. Like, if you was on the scene, everybody remembers Bakari.
oh wow.
He gave me a flyer. He was like, yo, you trying to MC, you know, come down to the Rhythm Kitchen. We have open mic there every Friday. So I told Fat about it. We went down there, man, and we just fell in love with the whole scene, man. Like I said, the music was just incredible, and it just encapsulated everything to do with Detroit hip hop. And you know, you had Maurice Malone on the come up with his brand,
Right.
so it all went hand in hand, and it was beautiful. I actually used to see Proof battling cats in the parking lot, and he never lost either. And Fat and I would be just amazed, like,
When you say Fat, who's
Fat Cat.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know, Proof would just be out in the lot going at dudes, man. Just he never, and we was just amazed, like, this dude is
He's a monster.
a monster, man.
He likes to eat.
Yeah, man.
MCs, yes.
Yeah, and you had Triplex that used to come down there, Groucho, and you remember his partner's name? I can't remember.
I can't remember his partner's name.
But Terry Dyer used to DJ for
Rest in
them.
peace, Terry Dyer,
He would
yes.
come through sometimes, and man, it was pretty awesome.
Mike Huckabee too, man. Craig Huckabee, like, that was, man, them dudes was the ones that started it all, really, now that I think about it. And then, shout out to Sabotage and DJ Rowe. Man, then they inherited it like that, and then it really went to a whole nother caliber. So the DJing was really important. That whole scene was important, man. That shaped a lot of our souls and our essence of who we were.
So you know, from that spawned your 246s,
Yes.
and you know, it added to the hip hop shop of what we was doing there every Saturday, and you know, 3 floors of fun over at St. Andrews.
Yes.
where you had the shelter.
The 3 Floors of Madness first.
Yeah, three Floors of Madness. Yep.
That was the OG. Then it switched, and then I remember DJ Cheese and seeing Low Lewis. Shout out to Low Lewis, and then they came in with house shoes and all of that. But I want to go back, man. So First Down. So it's you and Fat Cat. So were y'all like from the same hood? Was it like a East Side, West Side thing?
Yeah,
like,
we from the same hood. My Uncle Mooch was cool with Fat, and he came around the corner one day and he was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You ever met Fat Cat around the corner? I'm like, nah. He like, y'all both in the music. You need to link up with him, you know what I'm saying? I think y'all could do some great things together. So he wound up introducing me to Fat, and Fat played a demo for me, man. It was incredible.
Wow.
So at that point, I was always a producer in my own right, but I was like making beats on tape decks, and my mom bought me a set of Technique 1200s, and I would do remixes off of the 1200s with just acapellas and drum breaks. So when I met Fat, I'm like, okay, man, he heard me rhyme, and he was like, I want to link up with you. You feel me? So I started writing some material for him and I said, you know what, we might as well do this as a group. And I started First Down, and we wound up producing No Place to Go. I did all the production on it, and then I wrote all the lyrics for it. Okay, and we did it over at the Temper Mill, which Fat Cat's uncle, Haywood Ragland, gave us the finances to do that.
Wow.
So once we completed that album...
Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to Haywood Ragland, Uncle Red, man. Thanks for that. But, we just continued to frequent the scene, and that's how I wound up meeting DIlla, who called himself John Doe then.
At the time, yes.
So... I heard some of his beats, and I was like, yo, can I get a beat tape from you? He was like, sure. So I pull up to Mon Duke's crib. I remember my dad would get a new car like every 3-4 years. I pull up in a brand new car. I hop out with the Martin Pelly on. DIlla comes out. He hands me a tape, and he looks at me, and he looks at the truck. He goes, luxury. I'm like, man, you going to have the same thing. You just, So I take the tape home. I play it. I call Fat Cat. I'm like, man, this dude is a genius. Listen to this. And I play it through the speaker. And he like, wow, that's what I'm talking about. So, we started linking up as brothers. I remember, John Doe, a.k.a. DIlla. I pick him up, and I take him over Fat Cats, and he lay on the floor and play his beats, man. And humbly would say, what do you guys think? And Fat and I look at each other like, man, are you kidding me? That shit is dope. So
run all of those.
Yeah,
all
man.
Everyone you play, we want everyone else. Yeah.
So fast forwarding, I wrote a song called "A Day with the Homies" in my great grandmother's living room, and this was actually based on a day that Fat and all of us hung out. We went to see Minister Society.
Wow.
And in my grandfather's caravan, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
And I'm like, man, I'm going to write a song, and it's going to be a hit, because it's going to vividly explain everything that we just did hanging out together. So the blessing of that is that day I called Mike Clark, which he calls himself the Funky Hunky, at the Temper Mill, because that's where we recorded No Place to Go. So we were going back to Mike Clark to do A Day with the Homies. But I tell you how God works. Mike wasn't available that day. So I called DIlla up, and I'm like, yo, do you think Amp will let us come to his crib to produce this record? So he like, I'm going to call you back in like 10 minutes and let you know. So DIlla hit me back in 10 minutes like Amp said it's cool for us to come through. So I already had all of the idea for the beat in my head, and I went over to Amps, Fat Cat and I told DIlla, I'm like, look, I need you to come in with the Peter Piper at first, do this, da-da-da-da, this is the beat. And he was like, all right. So he caught all that shit and was like, played it back to us. It was dope. And so then we just laid down our vocals, and I remember P Groove coming through that day, and he wanted to master it, but mastering wasn't in my budget at that particular time.
Right.
So we passed on that.
Shout out to P Groove.
You know what I'm saying? P Groove, man.
In the circle, man. In the sea.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Man, P Groove is legendary,
HB,
man. You know what I'm saying?
represent Highland Park.
Shout out to Arknar Tunes, but
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? We took the record home, we lived with it, and probably the next day I called DIlla back, and I'm like, man, do you hear what we created? He was like, yo, me, T3, and Titus just played this joint like 10 times back to back. So fast forwarding, DJ Premier is up at Chantonique Records, and Fat Cat heard about it, so he took the demo up there
Wow.
and
Okay.
played it for Premier. Premier was like, yo, this is how you make a record. Call this number and y'all gonna get a record deal.
DJ Premier right there.
Yeah, DJ Premier
At Chantonique.
at Chantonique. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Was Guru there too? Was it Gangstar? Was it? 'Cause
I don't think Guru was there. I think Premier was here doing some type of promotional tour. You know, but
shout out to Primo, man.
shout out to Primo.
Wow.
And you know what I'm saying? We called Dino DeValle at Payday. And we got a record deal, you know, for A Day with the Homies. So
Wow.
that was a record that DIlla and I co-produced together, man. And it's on the internet right now if you want to check it out.
Day with the Homies, y'all. Check it out. So I want to fast forward, man, to the new records he Rex, because we was talking about the Rhythm Kitchen. You know what I'm saying? You coming with the solo project. You coming with some instrumentals. You coming with all types of, you know, new beats and all of that. I gotta, you know what I'm saying, the copyright here. You
Yeah,
dig what I'm saying? Reno made this beat.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and you got the Rhythm Kitchen. You got dope songs on here like, you know what I'm saying, Chandler Park Drive. I'm just gonna go there. You know, we got Bob Low Island.
Yeah.
You know, jams like The Giant Slide
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Black Bottom Lounge. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? For the
Yeah.
people out there, man, that don't know Detroit, don't know about the Trois. What inspired this record, man? What made you come back with this monster? And it's an awesome record too.
Man, what inspired it is, you know, I want to keep the legacy of what we did in Detroit in terms of hip hop going. So with this album, I purposely wanted to encapsulate and embody all of that energy that we experienced and share it with the world. And DIlla, myself, Wheatbread, you got Wajid and T3, and there's a whole host of us that tapped into that sound and made it what it is. So I want to keep that legacy going, and it's embodied in this record right here. You know, 5 Elements is legendary in Detroit, man, and you know we've been doing like great hip hop music, and I want the world to know what we do. Like the Detroit hip hop that we know
Yes.
is on this record. So
Yes.
I was inspired by the Rhythm Kitchen from the whole Detroit music hip hop scene to do this album. So my purpose for that is to share our greatness with the world.
So this will just be volume 1? Is it just gonna be one of these, or what we doing? Cause you
There's-
can't just share with them and then, you know, give them a little something. Cause you got what we got. We got 13 joints on here, and we got 1x5 Yes, that's the only rap version on here. The Reno's remix of Still in Love. Yes, which is I think a better record than the Ninth Wonder when we shout out the Ninth Wonder. No diss, but yeah, that was like mixtape. This is
Official.
aficionado, yeah, man. So
yeah.
this, man. So how much are these going for? What we doing these for?
This is the blue one right here. The blue ones go for $50. You can buy them online at wesleyrecordsincorporated.com.
All right.
And then the black ones are $35 each. They're also in Spotlight Records. You can get them at Spectacles in Detroit, Detroit Threads,
Yeah.
and also Street Corner Music has them as well. So,
Hey, y'all don't have no excuses, man. Y'all gotta get out here and get these records, man. Y'all know where it's at. We got the man, and there'll be more, right?
there'll be
a
more.
volume 2?
There's definitely going to be more volumes, and you know, as a record producer, you know, I produce multiple genres of music, but hip hop is my baby, and you know, I want the world to hear Detroit hip hop. It's my specialty.
Detroit hip hop. Specialty with the crispy. I see you got the crispy line up on there too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get this record. This is important. This is the new launch pad. Wesley Records. Yes, you heard it. Wesley Records. My man Reno Wesley. The Morris Mud Show. Thank you, brother. We gonna chop it up some more. This is just the first volume. We coming just with the Rhythm Kitchen. We got more coming though, man. It's oof. We had a listen party. Crack this bad boy open and tease him a little bit. Do a little. I'm putting too much out there, but we gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Morris Mud Show. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love.
The bag came in. It's on Morris Mud Show. Unboxing them alone. Ooh, look at what that is right there, baby. I see that right there, baby. Ooh, what that is right there. Ooh, nicely done, okay. Ooh. This right here too. Yeah, that's the cotton right there. Jeans for you. Easy right here. I see that with the logo cap. So that. Ooh. Dang. Fresh fold. Long sleeve on. Shout out to Maurice Malone for sponsoring the Morris Mud Show. Over 40 years in the fashion industry, the original style of Detroit hip-hop, bringing it back to where we started. Visit www.mauricemaloneusa.com and shop online for the freshest fits, drips, and tips. Support the legacy of a true originator and pioneer, Maurice Malone.